Let's dive into the world of GoBoats today.
Okay.
These things are, I don't know, they're kind of like a kayak, a baby with a party barge.
Hmm.
But a baby you can, like, stuff in your trunk.
Right.
We're going to compare the GoBoat 1.0 with the new 2.0.
So GoBoats are interesting because they really make getting out on the water so easy.
Yeah.
You can inflate these boats in just minutes.
Right.
You don't have to worry about a trailer or a boat ramp or any of that stuff.
So it's perfect for a spontaneous adventure.
Exactly.
No more excuses to stay on dry land. And for all you fishing fans out there,
Yeah.
you can actually attach a trolling motor to these things.
That's right.
It's like your own personal fishing taxi.
That's a great point.
You know, for those of us who would rather spend our energy casting lines and not fighting currents.
Well, a trolling motor is a small electric motor
Okay.
designed for boats.
Mhm.
So you can control your speed and direction without breaking a sweat.
Nice.
Perfect for fishing or just exploring calm waters.
Speaking of fishing, the GoBoat 1.0 really made a splash when it came out.
It
It
did.
was easy to set up, it was portable, and you could put a motor on it.
Yeah, it was a real game changer.
People were going crazy for them.
But there's always room for improvement, right?
Always.
That's where the GoBoat 2.0 comes in.
Okay, spill the beans.
Mm.
What did they do to make it even better?
Well, first off, stability.
Okay.
They widened the base and improved the buoyancy.
So, for the listener, buoyancy is like how well something floats.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if you're fishing and you want to stand up and cast your line,
Oh,
you can do it on the 2.0 with even more confidence.
well, you're telling me you can stand up in this thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I know it's stable, but
Yeah.
standing up in an inflatable boat, that's next level. I'm impressed.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's not just about fishing. If
Yeah.
you're exploring somewhere shallow and you want to get a better look,
Right.
you can just stand up
Oh.
and take it all in. Or if the water is a bit choppy, that extra stability can make you feel safer.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
So more stability, that's a big win.
definitely.
What else did they upgrade?
Durability.
Okay.
They're using tougher materials now, so it's more resistant to punctures.
Uh,
You know those little accidents that can happen when you're out exploring?
For sure.
So you can feel more confident taking it on those slightly more adventurous outings?
Yeah, that peace of mind is definitely a plus.
For sure.
No one wants to be stranded with a deflated boat.
Nope.
Did they make any other changes? Anything to make our lives easier?
Actually, yeah.
Okay.
They increased the weight capacity, which is great if you like to bring gear or snacks or maybe a furry friend along for the ride.
Awesome.
And they streamlined the assembly process.
I-
The inflation is faster, the fittings are improved,
Right.
so you'll be on the water even quicker.
Okay, I'm sold.
Great.
But you mentioned we have choices with these GoBoats.
Yes.
Like, you don't have to use a motor.
Exactly. You have options.
Okay.
You can attach an electric motor if you want for effortless cruising, which is great for covering longer distances or just relaxing and enjoying the scenery.
Yeah, that sounds pretty idyllic.
Mm-hmm.
But what if I'm feeling a little more energetic? Can I paddle it like a kayak?
Absolutely. And that's where that circular design comes in.
Oh, yeah?
It gives you 360-degree movement
Wow.
and really incredible maneuverability.
So I can zip around, explore tight spots,
Yeah,
get up close and personal with nature.
exactly.
So yeah, I could get a good workout in paddling a GoBoat.
For sure.
Wow. I'm starting to see the appeal of these things.
Yeah.
It's like they combine the best of all worlds. You can kayak, you can cruise, you can fish, you can explore.
Right.
And with the 2.0, they've taken it to the next level.
They really have.
It sounds like whether you're looking for tranquility or adventure, a GoBoat can provide it.
Absolutely.
Okay, this is all well and good, but let's get down to brass tacks.
Yeah.
I'm imagining myself out there on the water, GoBoat, ready to go. What are some things I need to know to have a great and safe experience?
That's a great question. And safety is always paramount.
Of course.
First things first, personal flotation devices or PFDs.
Life jackets.
Exactly.
Okay.
Just like with any water activity, wearing a PFD is non-negotiable.
Right. Safety first.
Always.
I got my PFD check. What else?
Make sure you understand the local boating regulations.
Okay.
Every area is going to have different rules, so it's important to be aware of things like speed limits,
Right.
designated areas,
Okay.
and any specific rules for inflatable watercraft.
Makes sense.
Knowledge is power when it comes to staying safe out on the water.
Okay. I will definitely brush up on those local regulations.
Good.
Now let's talk gear. Besides the obvious things like fishing gear, what are some must-haves for a GoBoat adventure?
Well, sunscreen hat, sunglasses,
Okay.
Those are essential no matter what you're doing out on the water.
Right.
And don't forget the water.
Oh, yeah.
It's easy to get dehydrated when you're out in the sun.
Good point. I always forget to hydrate when I'm having fun.
Yeah.
What about snacks? I get hangry if I don't have a steady supply of sustenance.
Absolutely. Pack some energy bars, fruit sandwiches, whatever you enjoy.
Okay.
A cooler with some cold drinks is always a good idea.
Especially on a hot day.
Especially on a hot day. And here's a pro tip.
Ooh, pro tip.
I'm ready.
A dry bag.
A dry bag.
Yeah, it's basically a waterproof bag that keeps your valuables safe
Ah.
from any unexpected splashes
Okay.
or moments of clumsiness.
Yeah, we all have those.
It's just peace of mind knowing your phone, your wallet, and your snacks are safe.
That's a fantastic tip. I'm
Okay.
definitely adding a dry bag to my GoBoat checklist.
Good.
So we've covered safety regulations gear.
Mm-hmm.
What about capturing those epic GoBoat moments? I feel like these things were made for Instagram.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The unique design makes for some really amazing photo opportunities.
Yeah.
You've got that cool circular shape, the bright colors.
Yeah.
It's practically begging to be photographed. And with a 2.0 stability, you can even strike a pose standing up.
Exactly. Just remember, safety first. No need to risk life and limb for the perfect shot.
Of course.
And while you're snapping those pics, be mindful of the environment.
Right.
Let's keep those waterways clean.
Absolutely. Pack it in, pack it out, folks. Now, before we get carried away with our GoBoat fantasies,
Okay.
you mentioned that Motor City Paddle Club has these bad boys available to rent.
That's right.
Okay. We've got both the 1.0 and the 2.0 ready to go.
Awesome.
So whether you're an experienced paddler looking for a new thrill,
Yeah.
or a curious newbie who just wants to dip their toes in the GoBoat world, we've got you covered.
So if our listener wanted to try out one of these GoBoats, they could just head over to Motor City Paddle Club. I'm just picturing myself cruising down the Detroit River, soaking up some sun, maybe even doing a little fishing.
It's the perfect way to see our beautiful city from a new perspective.
Yeah.
And we've got some special rental packages for the 2.0 to celebrate its arrival. Ooh, tell me more about these rental packages. What kind of options are we talking about?
We have a variety of packages to suit your needs and budget.
Okay.
You can rent them for a few hours, a full day, even multiple days.
Wow.
If you're planning a longer adventure, and we include everything you need.
Okay.
PFDs, paddles, even a quick tutorial on how to set up and operate the boat safely.
That's fantastic. So if our listeners even remotely curious about GoBoats, they can just head over to Motor City Paddle Club.
Exactly.
Check out the rental options and get out on the water. No pressure, no commitment.
Just pure GoBoat fun.
Just pure GoBoat fun.
Exactly. And speaking of fun,
Yep.
we actually had one of our first GoBoat 2.0 renters reach out to us with a glowing review.
Ooh, I love a good testimonial.
Yeah, her name is Elisa.
Okay.
And she said her family had an absolute blast.
Awesome.
She was especially impressed with how easy it was to use,
Okay.
even for her kids.
Nice.
They spent the whole afternoon exploring, and they even caught a few fish. She said it was a game changer for their family outings.
That's what we love to hear. Happy families,
Uh-huh.
successful fishing trips, and memories made out on the water.
Absolutely.
So if Lisa and her family had such a great time,
Yeah.
I could only imagine the adventures that await our listeners.
The possibilities are endless.
Well, on that note, I think we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We explored the GoBoat 1.0 and 2.0,
Mm-hmm.
talked about safety and gear,
Yeah.
and even heard from a happy GoBoater.
Right.
But before we wrap things up, I have a confession to make.
Ooh, a confession.
I actually had my own little GoBoat adventure recently,
Really?
and let's just say it involved an unexpected encounter that I'll never forget.
Oh, you can't leave us hanging? What happened?
All right, I'll set the scene.
Okay.
Picture a perfect summer day, sunny skies, gentle breeze, and me out on a calm lake in my GoBoat,
Okay.
just drifting along, enjoying the peace and quiet, really soaking it all in.
Correct.
And then I see something moving in the water ahead of me.
Okay, my suspense levels are rising.
Yeah.
What was it? A giant fish? A curious otter? A mermaid?
Well, it wasn't a mermaid, unfortunately, but it was pretty darn cute.
Okay.
It was a whole flotilla of baby ducks.
Oh, baby ducks! That's adorable!
It was. They were so tiny and fluffy, paddling around like little balls of fuzz.
Oh my god.
They must just hatched because they were following their mama duck in a perfect little line.
That's amazing. Did they come close to your GoBoat?
Oh yeah, they were super curious.
Oh.
They swam right up to me, chirping away, pecking at the side of the boat,
No.
like they were saying hello.
That's so cute.
It was the cutest thing.
You know, moments like that are really why GoBoats are so special.
Yeah.
They let you experience nature in a way you just couldn't in a larger, more intrusive boat.
Right.
You're right there at water level, able to see the wildlife Up close and personal.
You hit the nail on the head. It's like having a front row seat to nature's most adorable show.
Yeah.
And it made me realize GoBoats can be so much more than just a fun way to get out on the water.
Yeah.
They can be gateway to these incredible moments of connection with the natural world.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder to slow down, appreciate our surroundings, and enjoy those unexpected encounters that make life so much richer.
Speaking of unexpected encounters, I think it's important to acknowledge that while go-boating is generally a safe and enjoyable activity, there are potential downsides or challenges that our listeners should be aware of.
Okay.
We want to make sure they have a realistic view of what to expect.
That's a good point. It's important to be prepared and informed,
Right.
just like with any outdoor activity.
Yeah.
For starters, let's talk about speed, or rather the lack thereof.
Yeah. Go-boats aren't exactly known for their speed.
No.
So if you're looking to zip across the water like a speedboat, this probably isn't the right vessel for you.
Exactly. Go-boats are designed for leisurely exploration, not high-speed thrills.
So more like a slow boat to China.
Pretty much.
And while the 2.0 is definitely more stable than its predecessor,
Yeah.
it's still important to be mindful of the conditions. If you're venturing into areas with strong currents or choppy water,
Right.
you might want to consider a kayak or a canoe,
Yeah.
which offer a bit more stability and control in those situations.
That's good advice.
Yeah, and let's not forget about storage.
Okay.
While go-boats are incredibly portable, when deflated, they still require some space to store.
That's true.
If you're tight on space, this might be something to consider.
For sure, you're not going to just stuff a deflated go-boat in a drawer.
No, you're not.
But it's certainly more manageable than a traditional kayak or canoe.
Absolutely. And while go-boats are generally quite durable,
Yeah.
punctures can happen.
It's always a good idea to inspect your boat before each use
Okay.
and have a repair kit on hand just in case.
Good to know. Speaking of repairs, let's talk about cost.
Okay.
Go-boats can be a bit of an investment,
That's true.
especially the newer models with all the bells and whistles.
Right, but if you compare it to the cost of buying and maintaining a traditional boat,
Yeah,
it's actually quite reasonable.
that's true.
And renting is always a great option if you want to try before you buy.
That's what we love about Motor City Paddle Club. They make it so easy and affordable to experience go-boating.
Absolutely,
You can rent a go-boat for a few hours a day, even multiple days if you want to really get your go-boat on.
Exactly. It's a fantastic way to explore our local waterways.
Yeah.
Have some fun. And maybe even have a few unexpected encounters with adorable baby ducks along the way.
As we've been talking, I've been thinking about Lisa's story.
Okay.
Remember she mentioned that her family had a really positive experience with the GoBoat 2.0.
I do.
I think it's worth exploring that a bit further.
Okay.
Because it really speaks to the versatility of these boats and how they can be enjoyed by people of all ages and experience levels.
That's a great idea. Lisa's testimonial was so heartwarming.
Yeah.
She talked about how much her kids loved the novelty of the GoBoat
Wow.
and how easy it was for them to use. It's fantastic that GoBoating can be such a family-friendly activity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not just about the thrill of being out on the water.
Right.
It's about creating those shared experiences, those memories that families will cherish for years to come.
Yeah.
And Lisa's story really drives that point home.
It does, and it makes me think about all the different ways people can use GoBoats.
Yeah.
You've got folks who are passionate about fishing,
Right.
others who love exploring and observing nature,
Mm-hmm.
and then there are those who just want to relax, soak up the sun, and enjoy a peaceful day on the water.
It's like go-boats are a blank canvas for adventure, and each person gets to paint their own unique masterpiece.
That's a great way to put it.
And you know what? I think that's a beautiful thing.
It is. It's a reminder that there's no right or wrong way to GoBoat.
Yeah.
It's all about finding what brings you joy and embracing the experience.
So if you're listening to this and feeling even a little bit curious about go-boats,
Yeah.
I encourage you to take the plunge.
Absolutely.
Head over to Motor City Paddle Club.
Mm-hmm.
Check out their rental options
Okay.
and see for yourself what all the fuss is about.
You might be surprised how much fun you have
Yeah.
and the incredible moments you experience along the way.
Who knows? You might even have your own unforgettable encounter with nature.
That's right.
And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this go-boat extravaganza.
Okay.
But before we say goodbye, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
Ooh, a parting thought. I love it. What's on your mind?
Well, we've talked a lot about the practical aspects of go-boating.
Yeah.
The features, the safety tips, the gear.
Right.
But what I really want people to remember is the simple joy of being out on the water surrounded by nature. Whether you're paddling, fishing, or just drifting along, there's something truly magical about connecting with the water.
Yeah.
It's a feeling of freedom, of peace, of being fully present in the moment.
That's beautiful.
In today's busy world, I think that's a gift we could all use a little more of.
I couldn't agree more. It's a reminder to disconnect from the digital world, reconnect with nature, and embrace those simple pleasures that life has to offer.
Beautifully said. So to all our listeners out there,
Yeah.
get out there, explore, have fun, and let the GoBoat be your vessel for adventure, relaxation, and unforgettable moments.
Happy go-boating.
Happy GoBoating.
Okay, so you saw something moving in the water?
I did.
What was it?
Well, it wasn't a mermaid, unfortunately,
Oh, not too bad.
but it was pretty darn cute.
Okay, so what was it?
It was a whole flotilla of baby ducks.
Baby ducks. Ah.
They were so tiny and fluffy, just paddling around.
Oh my gosh.
Like little balls of fuzz.
I love baby ducks.
They must have just hatched
Oh.
because they were following their mama in a perfect little line.
Did they come close to your GoBoat?
Oh, yeah. They were super curious.
Oh.
They swam right up to me, chirping away, pecking at the side of the boat.
Oh.
It was like they were saying hello.
That's so cute.
It was the cutest.
You know, moments like that are why GoBoats are so special. You can experience nature in a way you just couldn't in a bigger boat.
Right.
You're right there at water level,
Yeah.
able to see the wildlife up close.
You hit the nail on the head. It was like having front row seats to nature's most adorable show.
That's great.
And it made me realize that GoBoats can be so much more than just a fun way to get out on the water.
Yeah,
They can be a gateway to these incredible moments of connection with nature.
that's a great point.
It really is.
It's a good reminder to slow down,
Yeah.
appreciate our surroundings,
Mhm.
and enjoy those unexpected encounters that make life so much richer.
Speaking of unexpected encounters,
Okay.
I think it's important to acknowledge that while GoBoating is generally safe and enjoyable,
Mm-hmm.
there are potential downsides or challenges that our listeners should know about.
Okay, I'm listening.
You know, we want to make sure they have a realistic view of what to expect.
That's a good point. It's important to be prepared and informed.
Right.
Just like with any outdoor activity. So for starters, let's talk about speed, or rather, the lack thereof.
Yeah, GoBoats aren't exactly known for their speed.
That's true.
If you want to go fast like a speedboat, a GoBoat is probably not the right choice.
Exactly. GoBoats are designed for leisurely exploration,
Right.
not high-speed thrills.
It's more like a slow boat to China.
Pretty much, yeah.
And while the 2.0 is definitely more stable than the 1.0,
It is.
it's still important to be mindful of the conditions.
Right.
If you're going out in strong currents or choppy water,
Mm-hmm.
you might want to consider a kayak or a canoe,
Okay.
which offer a bit more stability and control in those situations.
Yeah, that's good advice.
And let's not forget about storage.
No.
GoBoats are incredibly portable when they're deflated.
Yes, they are.
But you still need a place to put it.
That's true.
So if you're tight on space, this might be something to think about.
You can't just stuff a deflated GoBoat in a drawer.
That's true.
But it's definitely easier to store than a traditional kayak or canoe.
Definitely. And while GoBoats are pretty durable,
They are.
punctures can happen.
It's always a good idea to inspect your boat before you use it
Okay.
and have a repair kit handy,
Good advice.
just in case.
Speaking of repairs,
Yeah.
let's talk about cost.
Okay.
GoBoats can be kind of expensive,
It can be.
especially the new models with all the fancy features.
That's true. But if you compare that to buying and maintaining a traditional boat,
Yeah.
it's actually pretty reasonable.
That's a good point.
And of course, you can always rent one if you want to try it out.
That's what's so great about Motor City Paddle Club.
Exactly.
They make it so easy to experience GoBoating, and it's affordable.
Yeah,
You can rent one for a few hours or a day or even a whole weekend if you want.
exactly. It's a fantastic way to explore our local waterways.
For sure.
Have some fun, maybe have some unexpected encounters with baby ducks.
Yeah, so as we've been talking, I've been thinking about Lisa's story.
Okay.
Remember she said her family had a really positive experience with the 2.0.
Yes, I do.
I think it's worth talking about that a bit more because it really highlights how versatile these boats are
Okay.
and how they can be enjoyed by people of all ages and experience levels.
Lisa's testimonial was so great.
It was.
She talked about how much her kids loved the GoBoat
Yeah.
and how easy it was for them to use.
It's great that GoBoating can be such a family-friendly activity.
It is.
It's not just about being out on the water.
Right.
It's about those memories that families can make together.
Exactly.
And Lisa's story really emphasizes that.
And it makes me think about all the different ways people are using GoBoats.
Yeah.
You've got the fishing enthusiasts,
Right.
the nature lovers, and then
Mhm.
you've got the people who just want to relax and enjoy the day.
It's like GoBoats are a blank canvas, and everyone can create their own adventure.
That's a great way to put it.
You know what? I think that's a beautiful thing.
It is, and it reminds us that there's no right or wrong way to go boat.
Exactly.
It's all about finding what brings you joy.
So if you're listening to this and you're feeling even a little bit curious about GoBoats,
Just a little bit.
I encourage you to give it a try.
Absolutely.
Head over to Motor City Paddle Club.
Mm-hmm.
Check out their rental options.
Okay.
See for yourself what all the fuss is about.
You might be surprised at how much fun you have.
And the incredible moments you experience along the way.
Yeah, you might even have your own unforgettable encounter with nature.
That's right.
It really is amazing how just being out on the water can make you feel so good.
It is right. It makes me think of that quote by John Muir, the naturalist.
Okay.
He said, "In every walk with nature, one receives far more than he seeks."
I love that quote.
And I think it's so true about go boating.
It really is. It's not just about the boat itself. It's
Right.
about the experience,
Yeah.
the connection with nature.
And that sense of wonder is something we should never lose sight of.
Absolutely.
It keeps us curious and engaged.
So to all our listeners who are feeling adventurous,
Yeah.
or maybe just a little stressed and in need of some peace and quiet, I encourage you to give go boating a try.
You won't regret it.
Head over to Motor City Paddle Club
Check out their rental options.
and get ready for some go boat fun.
Happy go boating, everybody.
Happy go boating!